Our dream is like a window. The other day, I was looking outside of my window and I was just admiring the sky, and I was kind of just looking at the clouds, and I was just trying to. You ever look at the clouds and you're like, oh, it looks like a ship, or it looks like a duck, or oh, it looks like a dog, or whatever it may be, right? You know, your imagination, our imagination is it's quite extraordinary. Anyhow, as I was looking out this video, it just this idea and this idea just came to me, and I was like, this is very similar how our dreams are. We can see our dream, we can imagine our dream, we can see it. But before you can see your dream, before you can see the outside, you must first look through your own reflection. And as I was looking out this window, I seen my reflection. I was like, it just hit me. I was like, this is very, very similar to how our dreams are. And I was like, this has to be a video. Eventually, I will recreate this video. Again, every single time I make these videos, I will improve and slowly start to get better and get better with my communication. Anyhow, as I was looking out this window, I see my reflection and I was like, this has to be a video. In order for us to get to where it is we want to go, in order for us to go from where we are to where it is we want to go, we must first get through ourselves. We are our own worst enemy. And I came up with a saying. I can't remember the whole thing. It's fairly long, or it's quite long. And anyhow, but at the end of the saying, I said, it's you versus you. And that's very, very, it's so true, because we can either be the reason to who we are, or we can become the reason as to who we are not. And I wanted to make this video because in order for you, I'll give you an example, a story. When I was in the hospital in 2010, I had made back surgeries, and I had multiple of them, quite a lot to say the least. And anyhow, with this back surgeries, I was in the hospital for 2.5 months. And I remember in that time when I was in the hospital, my dream, little me, little Victor, my dream, my dream was to be able to go back home. When you're in the hospital for a very long time, sometimes it's the littlest things that are often our biggest blessings. And for me at that time was to make it home. Anyhow, that was my dream at that time. Whatever your dream is, wherever it is you want to go, you have to put in the necessary work in order for you to get through every single thing that you're going through. In order for you to go from here to there, you have to put in the necessary work. You cannot expect results to come if you are doing nothing. You cannot expect anything different if you are doing nothing differently. And I wanted to make this video because, again, in order for you to go from where you are to where it is you want to go, you have to get through yourself. Like, you can become you will be the reason why you become who you become, or you will be the reason as to why you don't become who you aspire to be. You can become your worst enemy. Again, you will be the reason to who you become, or you will be the reason as to who you are not, to say the least. Anyhow, in order for you to get through whatever it is that you are going through, you have to put in the necessary work. Again, if you are doing nothing different, you cannot expect different results. If you are doing nothing differently, you cannot expect anything to be different, to say the least. That's how our dreams are. We can see it, we can imagine it, we can picture it, we can again, you can see it, to say the least. You can see it. It's there. Like, it's there. You're able to see this thing, this dream, for a reason. And for me, I think our dreams, the things that we can see, the things that we can imagine better for ourselves, is possible. The reason why I was able to get through so much of my life is because I first had to imagine myself, because I had to first imagine myself that I was that person, that guy already. And the only difference from that guy to who I am, and by that guy, I mean the person that I aspire to be, in order for me to get to that guy, I had to close the distance, the gap that separated that guy and where I am to who I am. I had to close in the gap and put in the necessary work, put in the effort. I had to put in the work. I had to learn from my mistakes. I had to say the least, grow through what I went through. And that's how our dream is. In order for anything to happen, you have to put in the necessary work. And again, when I was looking out this window, I was just admiring the sky, and I was just looking at the clouds, and I was just, and as I was looking out outside and looking at these clouds, and I was just thinking in things, and as I was looking out, I seen my own reflection, and when I seen my reflection, I was like, this has to be a video, because again, that's how our dream is. We can see it, it's there, like we know it, you know? But in order for us to get there, we must first face and get through that guy, or that person, that reflection, which is yourself. Again, you will be the reason as to who you become, or you will be the reason as to who you are not. I promise you that if you can see it, if you can imagine better for yourself, if you aspire to get through whatever it is that you are going through, you can do it. I promise you that. Like, I'm a great testimony. I have a great testimony for that. I wouldn't be where I am if I threw in the towel. There would be no me if it wasn't for the good, the bad, and the ugly. If it wasn't for every good thing I've done, if it wasn't for every bad thing I've done, all of my rights, all of my wrongs, the curveballs that were thrown at me, the speed bumps, the setbacks, the storms, the breakdowns, the sacrifices, the pain, the tears, the moments where I doubted and questioned if I was going to be able to get through whatever it was that I was going through. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for every single thing that I have ever gone through. Very similarly, likewise, you wouldn't be who you are if it wasn't for every single thing that you have ever gone through. So if you can remember anything from this video, I want you to know that where you are, if you can remember anything from this video, remember this. Where you are isn't where you always will be. Continue to grow through what you go through. Much love.